So we will begin. So I invite you to find I just would like a signal if somebody doesn't mind that you can hear me well. Yes? Good, thank you. Okay, because I'm gonna sit a little more comfy, so thank you. Okay, so we're gonna close our eyes. So we'll begin now. Find a relaxed and comfortable position, sitting or laying down. And once you feel settled, you may want to close the eyes. And if you decide to keep them open, you can keep a soft gaze. No preference, up to you. And we bring the awareness inward. And begin to notice what it feels like to be here in this moment in time. What does it feel like to observe your breath? What does it feel like to allow the body to find comfort? And become aware of any thoughts. Just observing what is here. Observing the breath, observing the thoughts. And begin to notice the space between the thoughts and the space between the breath. Feel yourself supported. Supported by the air around you. The seat or chair or bed where you are now. Or what it feels like to let go, to surrender, to invite this moment. Become aware of the part of you observing this moment. The part of you observing your breath. And become aware of your heart. Perhaps even touching the heart with your hands. And bringing all of the attention into that space. Sensing the energy within the body as you are sitting or laying down today. Sensing yourself as energy. And finding a place of groundedness in the heart. observing the rise and fall of the breath, and allowing the body to settle. Sensing the feet, and the energy within the feet, the energy within the toes and the soles of the feet. Sensing any sensations, or simply being aware of that space as you breathe. If any thoughts arise, observing the space between the thoughts and gently coming back to the awareness of the body as we breathe, as we allow it to rest. Noticing the ankles and the lower leg and knees, the thighs and the hips. Sensing the pelvic area and the lower back. Sensing the energy in this space. Simply observing what is here. And through the inhale, bringing a sense of peaceful presence to this area. And seeing a sense of peaceful presence arriving to the legs, to the feet, to the pelvic area and the lower back. Sensing the lower belly, the upper belly. Sensing the chest relaxed. Perhaps placing the hands on the chest and sensing the warmth of the hands against the chest. Sensing the fingertips. And bringing a sense of peaceful presence to this area. Sensing the whole back relaxed. And the shoulders. And the arms. And the wrists. And the hands and fingers. Noticing a peaceful presence in the breath. Observing the breath. And the spaces between the inhales and the exhales. Sensing the neck and shoulders, and the face, and the jaw and tongue. Sensing the eyes and nose. and the forehead and the eyelids, and the upper head and the ears, and the whole back of the body, on the left side and the right side. Sensing the front of the body. And sensing or knowing a deep, peaceful presence within you right now. And sensing the heart. And sensing the energy within the heart. A place of presence and of peace. Noticing the space between the breaths. Sensing the way the hands feel against your chest. And the space between sounds or thoughts. Allowing your awareness to remain focused on the spaces between the thoughts, between the sounds, or the sensation of warmth of the hands on your chest. Perhaps exploring each in silence for a moment. And sensing that peaceful presence within. Observing the thoughts. Observing the sounds. Observing the sensations of the hands on the chest. You now begin to sense that through your breath, you could breathe in grace, sensing the goodness in the universe all around you, sensing God, grace, as if you could breathe it into the heart. And begin to notice a door at the center of the heart. As you give yourself permission to open this door, feel yourself connected to grace, connected to the universe around you, as if there was no separation between you and the universe, between you and grace. Feel the heart and inhale grace and exhale grace. And feel the doorway opened as if you are inviting grace to enter. Feel grace coming inward, as if the door is fully opened. And as you exhale, grace expanding all around you. Almost as if God, universe, grace was in the very air around you. Breathing in grace, allowing it to come in through the door. And allowing it to expand through the exhale all around you. Grace within me and grace around me. Above me, below me. Breathing in peace. Allowing peace to enter through the doorway in the heart. And extending the peace as the doorway opens out into the world, into the universe all around you. Extending peace. Allowing it like a breeze to extend, surrounding you. Perhaps observing it as a beautiful light right at the center of the doorway in the heart. Allowing the light of the universe, the grace of the universe to enter the heart as you inhale. Sensing it grounded in the core of your being as it extends all the way out, beaming the light out onto the universe. Sensing yourself as pure energy connected, as if you are a drop in the ocean. One with the air around you, with the light inside and all about you. Presence. Feel yourself as pure presence. Sense the energy underneath the fingertips. The energy inside the chest. And sense it expand through the exhale all around you. As if there was no difference between the inhale and the exhale. As if there was no difference in giving or receiving grace or peace or goodness. Sensing a sense of oneness in the breath, in the body, surrounding you. And standing at the doorway of the heart, sense your wise self at the center of your heart. Your higher self, your soul. Sense who you are. And ask this part of you to be more present in your daily life. Perhaps inviting for guidance as to what you can do on a daily basis to feel connected, to feel this higher self, Soul self, God universe self. And again, noticing the sensation of the fingertips on the heart and the chest. The spaces between sounds, between breaths. Notice the silence and allow yourself to rest there for a bit. And beginning to notice the inhale and the exhale. Allowing yourself to become aware of your body once more. And beginning to gently feel sensation coming back to the body. Sensing the feet and the palms of the hand. And gently allowing yourself to come back. Opening the eyes as you are ready. And perhaps taking some time to write down your experience. Or to sit in silence and notice what you experienced. Go ahead and do that now. And I do apologize for my doggy in the background. And if you have any questions now beginning to come back into the room, I'm not sure exactly how it will work through the cell phone, but we are going to try. Let me just see how we can do the view here. Okay. Okay, good. So, yes. Hi. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Good. Okay. Yes, please go ahead. So when you like to ask a question, please unmute and go ahead and ask your question, or share your experience, whichever one you would like to do. Go ahead.
So I experienced a couple of things that I have never experienced before. At one point, during the meditation early on, I was almost like having trouble focusing, or yeah, I guess focusing. I was kind of like unsettled. I couldn't get comfortable, and I felt my heartbeat like within my body, and that caused me to focus, which was interesting. I didn't have my hand on my heart or anything. I just felt it internally, my heart beating.
Yes,
And
yes.
that was really cool. And
If I may, the heart
yes,
knows that we're going to do this work. There is a nonverbal communication that occurs between us before we even do anything. And I mean, scientists kind of work with this. I don't recall right now at the top of my head what they call this, but it's very similar to what people often think of as telepathy, which I don't like that word, but it's just like a nonverbal, it's kind of like the same energy as to why somebody calls you and you were just thinking about them, for example. It's like you
yeah.
just felt it before it even got there. So yeah, but go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue.
No, that was, it was very cool. And then I think at one point, probably now towards the end of the meditation, you were guiding us to observe I think you were guiding us to observe our higher self.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a while, but I saw my higher self.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the point that I saw it somewhat, like the face somewhat clearly. It was my face. But my question is, it was very dark. Not dark as in negative, just
Mm-hmm.
visually very dark, black.
Yep.
Not in a bad way or a negative way though. So I'm just curious. And then I had a lot of trouble letting go. Like you were calling us back,
Well,
but I had trouble disconnecting. I didn't want to.
Yeah, I started calling you guys back when I could feel that my doggy was gonna start making noise. So because otherwise we could have stayed there. We can stay there for a while. If I may, let me first ask you what your experience would tell you of why it was dark, and then I'm gonna share with you what I think that is. But first, I want to hear from your own wisdom.
I think since it's the first time I feel I saw my higher self, like visually, I think it was more like okay, I want to say coming into, it hasn't gotten there, but it's like coming into light. It's nothing, and now it's starting to show itself. That's my interpretation. Now that you ask.
Beautiful, exactly, because I was being told, so there you go. The other piece about it is that I feel like they kind of wanted me to talk about this. In the universe, there's also like this mystery to the universe. There's also this like dark matter to the universe, right? That we're not able to fully be conscious of. And so I think it might allude to that. But my understanding is that, yeah, it's exactly what you said. It's starting to show itself to you. And so it almost feels to me like it's kind of going like, come this way, come this way, come this way.
Yeah.
Inviting you to go a little deeper. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because even though it's dark, it had like, I had clothes, like I had like a head, like a, not a nun, but you know those things nuns wear, those drapes on their head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it was just all black. I don't know, it's very strange.
So in meditation, so I'm going to give you some homework. In meditation, go back to that imagery, because we are given imagery in a particular way for it to serve us. So that's one. The other piece I think that it's speaking of is the void, what is called the void. So it's a space within the universe or within ourselves where there's a sense of nothingness or a sense of darkness. I don't like that word darkness because it almost implies something bad. It's
Right,
not about
it's not.
It's just, it's neutral. It's like a space. It's like a void, like an empty space. And so very interesting. Scientists speak about, and I might be, again, I'm quoting it out of memory, so please, take it with a great a hint of salt. But essentially, they speak about right the rising of objects or the rising of visual matter out of nothingness, almost like this space of neutrality or this space of just pure energy. Actually, even before there's pure energy, there's like a space of nothingness, and then it kind of arises out of that and takes shape or takes form. And so when you start really looking at things from a deep, deep, deep level of awareness, there really is a lot of space. There really is a lot of void, a lot of dark matter, or a lot of this like empty space. And again, this is my own understanding of what I read so far. So again, take it with a grain of salt because I'm still learning it myself. But my understanding of it so far is that out of this nothingness, things take shape. And I mean, there's a lot of creation myths or a lot of creation teachings out there. One that comes to mind for me is from the Bible in Genesis, that there was first nothing, and out of nothing, then there was the word, right? And so with the word, it means there was intention. There was something that rose out of the nothingness, and it created something. Does that make sense? It's very interesting to consider that. Yeah, we'll talk more about this when I actually have some good data or notes behind me, so I can fully support what I'm saying here. But I also invite you to do your own exploration of the concept of the void and the nothingness. And we'll be doing more work with this in the next couple of weeks. So please do continue to come on this space that we're working with right now, that we've started to work with in the last weeks. Because that space of nothingness, that space of void, there's more to it. There's more to it. And you're beginning to see that a bit. So do go back and journal write about that imagery and why that particular imagery. I always invite you guys to journal write because I think it really pushes you to trust your own intuition and your own wisdom. Mm-hmm. Because again, you were made that way. I often use this example about you don't see a horse asking a cat how to be a horse, right? It knows what it is. It's because within itself, it's already the instinct of what is to become. It knows how to get up actually once it's been birthed. It knows how to run or how to walk. Like what told it that? So there's this intelligence to all creation that's already ingrained within it. And so we can learn to tap into that instinct or that wisdom or that intuition, then we're able to be self-guided and self-directed. And I think that's key in self-discovery. So, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that sort of answers it.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Anybody else has questions, please go ahead and raise your hand or unmute yourself. Hi. Somebody else? So I cannot see everybody and I cannot unmute you, so you will have to do it on your own. 1 second. See. Daddy.
I don't know if I'm next, but I'll share my experience.
Yes, sweetie.
So thank you for the meditation. It was very deep. I immediately, as you were guiding us, there was a moment where all thoughts stopped, and it was just, I do not remember anything. That when right before you were guiding us back, I had a moment of like, oh my God, I'm in a meditation, and then I just started coming back, and then you started guiding us back. But it was a moment where I'm usually trying to analyze the messages that I'm receiving, and there was nothing. I feel like I don't remember anything.
That's right. Yeah, it's a space of just empty space, empty awareness.
No, it was very peaceful, and I feel recharged.
Amen. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Who else would like to share? Thank you, Teddy.
Hi, it's Celeste.
Hi.
Hi. I had some moments like Tere, that it was like the in and out. And then when you were talking about the empty space, this had happened to me before, that I see myself in an empty room, but it's empty. It's a different kind of empty. It's not like I'm in a room and I see the room. It's like empty. There's nothing. Like I have a new, it's like when you have a new, do you call it slate? Like when you can start all over again?
Clean
Like,
slate.
yeah, like something, that's the feeling I get, that that it's a new me at that moment. And then I saw my higher self, me sitting, and then my higher self that I have seen, thank God, before. It's super cool. Standing there in this empty space, just looking at me. And this is the first time I see my higher self looking at myself with compassion and love. It was different today. It was like, oh, look at her, like that. Like, yay.
Beautiful.
It was very
You
pretty.
think it was different this time? Why do you think it was different this time?
I don't know. It was, I guess it has to do with that clean slate. Another aspect of myself that I was seeing. There was no stress or anxiety. There was like nothing. It was, and I saw pink, like rose color, around. And you said something about, I don't remember because I was going in and out or something, but at one point I saw myself with a lot of that color, and myself being that color, I was that color, and I was embracing earth, like giving it to the entire world.
Oh, how beautiful.
Yeah, and then I was back. So that was kind of quick, and I couldn't like stay there. I don't know why, but it was like a very beautiful, and I saw myself too floating on the ocean,
Oh,
like
how
no
beautiful.
sound, no nothing. It was very profound,
Thank you for sharing that.
very beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. I wanted to mention something about that. Just notice what the nothingness feels like to you. And the more you allow that experience of nothingness to settle in, there is a sense of presence. When I was mentioning about the sense of presence, sometimes it shows up as nothingness, as a sense of no space, no awareness, no thought, no emotion. It's just like a presence, like
Mm-hmm.
like a beingness. I would consider, right? Would you say so?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The other piece, yes, go ahead.
No, that I'm agreeing.
Yeah, the other piece I wanted to mention was the pink and being aware of the heart space. One particular difference that we did in our meditation today was to bring heart awareness to that space of presence. So the pink usually, as we know, if we work with energy, has to do with the heart chakra, right? The space within the heart, often shown in the colors of soft pink or green. We tend to experience that as that. And so, and love, unconditional love, also can be presented in those colors. So yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else that would like to share, please? Especially those of
Hello.
you from. Yes, please. Hi.
Hi, Hi, it's Elena. Hi. I wanted to share with you all. My experience was inclusive of everyone in the circle today because I have seen my higher self before, and I also, when meeting my higher self, walked into like another dimension where the room and everything around me, and I've mentioned this before, it's all black, yet I could see my higher self as a presence outlined, but it was still black. It was a little bit blacker than the rest of the blackness. But and now that you posed the question, why do I see myself like that? I think the purpose for me was the stillness. And I think the darkness invites, or the black, kind of like the blank slate in a way. It's like it's all empty and I'm still, and the possibility of everything is there. It is not negative, it's not scary, but I have also read that there exists another dimension where all beings are that color, because we don't perceive as humans that color, that wavelength of color. We perceive it as black or as darkness, but there's actually matter there that we are not, it's not visible to our naked eye, but like I think it was Sandra that said, it's coming into the light where it's becoming more visible. And that resonated with me. But when you invited us to be a drop in the ocean, or sense that we were who we are, and I've had this sensation before, I was like the creator of this universe and you were all my children. I was calling everyone in the circle in my meditation, my children, and seeing all my children meditating and sharing that light with everything around us. And it made me happy as the creator. I saw myself as the creator. For that moment, I was a drop in the ocean, then I became the entire ocean. And everything that I was meditating on, my higher self and the ocean, everything I saw it all of a sudden go into my heart. I saw it physically go into my heart as an observer when I was observing, and I felt it all warm in my heart. Like, yes, it's all mine, it's all within me. Not in a selfish way, but in a nurturing way. And I connected with everybody meditating. I like almost physically saw light, like different points of light. And I realized, I knew that it was all of us present right now in this meditation.
What
So
a
thank you.
beautiful experience. Thank you so much for sharing. Beautiful.
It was. Thank you for making it all possible, and to everyone for making it possible, how we connect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love your experience of oneness, particularly of the ocean. That was my intention with mentioning that. The sense of that when the drop returns to the ocean, it becomes one again with its essence. And so
Yes.
that we can experience that sense of great peace and oneness with each other, or strive at least for that in a conscious, aware space. And I can feel that sense of oneness even when I get triggered by someone or something, that I can feel that sense of unity of the whole being, in my breath, within me, within my own heart, as you mentioned. It all returned back into the heart.
Yes. And I had that visual and the sensation, the feeling, which was very strong. That's very important, is the feeling. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. The other piece I wanted to mention about your particular and beautiful experience is they are all beautiful, by the way. I just want to make that point across to all of you. The sense of stillness and the blank slate. In truth, that is always accessible to us, that sense of stillness and that blank slate. The blank slate in particular, every morning when we awake, there is a moment where there is no thought. There is a moment when the day hasn't begun, when we open our eyes and we enter a new space, having slept, entering a new day. And so I often speak about how a sunrise can bring a new beginning, or every moment, actually, every inhale and every exhale can provide the opportunity of a new start, a new beginning, a clean slate. And so how often, the reason why I mention that is when you awake in the morning, there is no thought. There is no past. There is no future. There's, in that moment, the opening of the eyes and the taking of an inhale and arising into a new day. And so there is almost this very clear presence of the now. And when we encounter a clear moment of awareness of the now, we can really see that we have a choice. All that has occurred in the past is a thought now. Of course, there are consequences to things that have occurred in our past. Of course there are. But right now, it's gone. It only lives as a thought or as a memory, which is not to say that we cannot go back and enjoy memories and enjoy past experiences, but it's also a remembrance of what really matters, which is the now moment. The now moment, as Elena was mentioning, we are the creator. We choose to create. We create with our thoughts, with our words, with our actions, what is yet to come. Our choices make the future. If I stand on a doorway and I say to myself, I can choose to go left or I can choose to go right, who's making that choice? I am, right? I make that choice. The universe, of course, will respond to my choice and will assist me accordingly to my choice, but I make the choice first. I have free will. I can choose to go left or I can choose to go right. I make that choice. So when we are connected to the place of stillness, to the place of presence, to that empty space of awareness, we can allow the guidance to arise from that space. It's much different. So I'm going to invite you, giving you a homework, to consider in the early part of the morning, right? The moment you arise, stay a little longer with that space and become aware of the heart, as we did in this meditation, and feel who you are. Feel who you really are. The higher self, the soul, whatever way you can connect to that. Peace, love, calm. Enter that. And from that space of entering, go about your day. And notice what shifts. Or throughout the day, encounter more of those moments by becoming aware of the space between the thoughts, or the space between the breaths, or the pauses between circumstances and situations. To stop and to notice, who am I being in this moment? Am I simply reacting to life, or am I responding to life from a conscious space? I always have the ability to respond to life. That is my responsibility. The responsibility means my ability to respond. I have a choice. And of course, there are times in our life when that choice is not accessible or available, or we don't recognize that that is there. But when we do, and we can make a choice, what part of me is choosing? What part of me is choosing? And so to become aware of that. Make sense? So any last question? Because I want to honor our time by ending on time. Any last question or comment, please? Go ahead. No? Okay. So I would like to thank you all for having been here today. For those of you that shared your experience, I am grateful. I look forward to seeing you all next week and in weeks to come. Please share this with others. This will be uploaded later today on YouTube. And it is my intention to continue our exploration of presence and of grace and of each other as one throughout our teachings in the future, throughout our meditations in the future. Throughout the day, find meaningful ways to connect with your heart, to connect with others, to explore again, how is this serving me, serving my joy, my natural joy? How is this serving our natural joy, our peace? How is what I am about to say or do, how does that influence the people around me or myself or the world? I often think of thoughts, words, or actions as pebbles on a lake. What happens when you throw a pebble on a lake? just creates this whole wave, right, on top of the surface of the lake. What wave am I wanting to create? So I invite you to consider that. I send you all my love and light, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Have a beautiful week. Bye.
Thank you so much. You too.
Bye.